Olivia Mason loved the quiet of Alaska. She came here to study ocean life, not to meet aliens. The research station sat far from any city. Most days, she walked along the shore alone, collecting samples and writing notes. This morning started like any other. The sky was clear blue and the air was cold. Olivia wore her thick coat as she checked water samples near the shore. She didn't notice anything strange until a shadow fell over her. Looking up, Olivia saw colors dancing across the sky. Red, purple, blue, and green lights swirled above her. At first she thought it was the northern lights, but it was daytime. This was something else. Then she saw it. A huge ship hung in the sky, bigger than anything humans had built. It shined with colors that changed as she watched. The ship made no sound as it moved lower, hovering about 500 feet above the ground. Olivia grabbed her radio. "Base, are you seeing this?" she called. The radio crackled. "We see it, Olivia. Get back here now." She ran toward the research station, her heart beating fast. By the time she arrived, everyone was outside staring up. Dr. Walsh, the station leader, stood with a phone in his hand. "The military is coming," he said. "They told us to stay put and not approach whatever that is." Within an hour, jets flew overhead. They circled the alien ship but kept their distance. Trucks and jeeps arrived carrying soldiers who set up a perimeter around the area. Men in suits came too, talking in hushed voices. A woman in a black coat approached Olivia. "I'm Agent Kim from Homeland Security. We need all civilian personnel inside." "But I want to see," Olivia began. "Inside, now." Agent Kim's voice left no room for argument. Olivia went inside with the others, but they all crowded around the windows. The alien ship still hovered silently. Its surface rippled like water reflecting light. Then something changed. A section of the ship's hull, which had seemed solid, suddenly opened. There was no door that swung out or hatch that lifted. The metal simply wasn't there anymore, revealing an opening. Figures appeared in the opening. Even from a distance, Olivia could tell they weren't human. They moved differently, more fluid, like they were lighter than they should be. "They're coming out," someone whispered. Dr. Walsh's phone rang. He answered, listened, then looked at Olivia. "They want you outside." "Me? Why?" "I don't know, but those are orders from the highest level. You're to join the welcome team." "Welcome team? We don't know anything about them." "Apparently, you're the least threatening scientist we have." "Young, woman, not military. They think it's the safest option." Agent Kim returned and led Olivia outside. A small group waited near the perimeter line. 2 generals, a scientist Olivia recognized from TV, and someone who might have been the Secretary of State. "Stand here." Agent Kim positioned Olivia slightly ahead of the others. "Don't speak unless spoken to." The aliens were walking down a ramp that hadn't been there before. In front were 4 tall figures in what looked like armor. Behind them came someone different. This alien wore flowing clothes in shimmering blues and silvers. She, and somehow Olivia knew it was a she, stood taller than the others. Her skin caught the light like pearls, changing color slightly as she moved. Her hair floated around her head as if she were underwater despite the still air. But it was her eyes that made Olivia gasp. Large, with vertical pupils like a cat's, they glowed with an inner light that shifted from purple to blue. This was clearly someone important. The way the others moved around her reminded Olivia of documentaries she'd seen about royal families. The alien group stopped at the bottom of the ramp. The soldiers raised their weapons slightly, but the general waved them down. The alien in the fine clothes stepped forward. She scanned the humans with those strange eyes moving from face to face. When her gaze reached Olivia, something extraordinary happened. The alien princess froze. Her eyes widened. The colors in her skin flashed rapidly, going from pearl white to deep blue to purple and back again. She raised one hand slightly, pointing at Olivia. The guards around the princess became agitated. They moved closer, hands on what might have been weapons. The princess didn't seem to notice. She stared at Olivia as if seeing a ghost. Then she spoke. The sound was like music, rising and falling in patterns Olivia had never heard before. A small device on one of the guard's wrists lit up, and a mechanical voice said in English, "The prophecy walks." The human officials looked at each other in confusion. The general stepped forward. "We welcome you to Earth. We come in peace and hope to establish—" But the princess wasn't listening. She said something sharp to her guards, her eyes never leaving Olivia. Then, without any further communication, the alien group backed up the ramp. "Wait," called the Secretary of State. "We have prepared—" The ramp disappeared. The opening in the ship closed as if it had never been there. The humans stood in shocked silence. "What just happened?" asked the general. Nobody answered. The ship remained where it was, hovering silently. That night, officials questioned Olivia for hours. "Have you ever seen anything like them before?" "No." "What did she mean?" "The prophecy walks." "I have no idea." "Why did she react to you specifically?" "I don't know." Eventually, they let her go back to her room. Olivia couldn't sleep. She stood by the window, looking at the alien ship glowing softly in the darkness. Something inside her knew this wasn't over. The princess had recognized her somehow, but how could an alien from another world know anything about her? 3 days passed. The ship remained, but no one came out again. Military forces surrounded the area now. Scientists arrived from around the world, setting up equipment to study the ship from a distance. Olivia went to bed exhausted after another day of questions she couldn't answer. She fell asleep quickly for the first time since the aliens arrived. When she woke up, she wasn't in her room anymore. Olivia opened her eyes to a strange ceiling. It looked almost like her room at the research station, but something was wrong. The light came from all around, not from a lamp. The bed felt firmer than hers. The air smelled different, like clean metal and something sweet she couldn't name. She sat up quickly. The room was a copy of her own, but with small differences. The desk had no drawers, the chair had no seams. The books on the shelf had no titles on their spines. "Hello?" she called out. Her voice sounded flat, as if the room absorbed sound. Section of the wall slid open. The alien princess stood there, still as beautiful and strange as before. Her skin today had a slight blue tint. Her floating hair moved slowly around her face. Behind her stood one of the guards, holding a small device. The princess spoke, and the device translated in a flat voice. "You are safe. No harm will come to you." Olivia stood up. She still wore her pajamas from the night before. "Where am I? Why did you take me?" The princess entered the room. Up close, she was even more striking. She stood at least 7 feet tall, her movements graceful like a dancer. "You are on my ship. I am Lyra, Crown Princess of the Astrani people. I brought you here because I must speak with you alone, away from your military." "You kidnapped me," Olivia said, trying to sound braver than she felt. "A temporary measure. You will return to Earth when we finish our talk." Lyra gestured to a small table where food and drinks had appeared. "Please sit." Olivia didn't move. "What do you want from me?" Lyra's eyes changed color slightly, darkening at the edges. "First, I must explain why I reacted as I did when I saw you. It was unexpected. You said something about a prophecy." "Yes." Lyra sat down, moving carefully as if worried about frightening Olivia. "Long ago, my people visited Earth. We collected genetic samples from humans to study. We have a database spanning thousands of years of human history. You've been watching us? Not closely. More like checking in occasionally. Our scientists were interested in how humans evolved." Lyra picked up a glass filled with blue liquid. "But that is not important now. What matters is the prophecy." Olivia finally sat down, curiosity winning over fear. "What prophecy?" 500 years ago, our greatest seer had a vision. She said that a human with a specific genetic pattern would appear when the Astrani faced their darkest hour. This human would save our people from extinction. Lyra set down her glass. "We have been dying, Olivia Mason. A disease has spread through our population. We lose thousands each day. And you think I can help? I'm a marine biologist, not a doctor. It is not what you know. It is who you are. Lyra touched a panel on the table. A hologram appeared between them, showing what looked like DNA strands. This is your genetic code. It contains a mutation we have never seen before in humans. Our scientists believe this mutation may hold the key to creating a cure. Olivia stared at the spinning DNA model. So you need what? Blood samples? Tissue? Yes. But there is more to the prophecy. Lyra looked uncomfortable. The seer said the human savior would not just cure our disease. She said this human would change our society forever. How? Lyra didn't answer directly. Would you like to see more of the ship? Perhaps it will help you understand. They left Olivia's fake room and walked through curved hallways. The ship was huge inside. Other aliens stopped and stared as they passed. Some bowed to Lyra. Others looked at Olivia with expressions she couldn't read. They entered a large room with windows showing the Earth below. Screens around the walls displayed star maps and what might have been news broadcasts in the alien language. This is our command center, Lyra said. From here, we monitor all Astrani ships in your solar system. There are more ships. Several. Most remain hidden beyond your moon. Lyra walked to a screen and touched it. The display changed to show text and images. This is our history. Would you like to learn about us? For the next few hours, Olivia learned about the Astrani. They came from a planet circling a star 30 light-years from Earth. Their civilization was ancient, over 50,000 years old. They had spread to dozens of star systems, building an empire based on trade and knowledge. But 200 years ago, things changed. A new disease appeared, attacking the Astrani immune system. It spread slowly at first, then faster. Their best scientists couldn't find a cure. The disease has a 10-year dormant period, Lyra explained. Those infected show no symptoms at first. By the time we understood what was happening, half our population carried it. That's terrible, Olivia said. But I still don't understand why I'm in your prophecy. Lyra touched another control. A new image appeared, showing ancient writing. The prophecy says, when death walks among the stars, look to the blue world. Find the one whose code carries the forgotten pattern. This one will bring life from death, and the old order will fall before the new dawn. The forgotten pattern is my DNA mutation? We believe so, but some of my people fear the last part of the prophecy. The part about the old order falling? Lyra nodded. The Astrani Empire has been ruled by my family for 10,000 years. Some believe the prophecy means the end of our dynasty. Her skin darkened with emotion. My cousin Vex leads those who think we should not trust the prophecy. He believes we should find another solution. Is he here, on this ship? No, he commands his own fleet. Lyra's expression grew serious. Vex tried to stop me from coming to Earth. There was conflict. My loyalists won, but barely. We came here against the wishes of many powerful Astrani. Now Olivia understood the tension she had sensed. You're in the middle of a civil war. Not yet. But it could become one. Lyra looked out at Earth. My scientists are ready to begin testing with your genetic material. Will you help us voluntarily? I will not force you. Olivia thought about it. If what Lyra said was true, millions of lives depended on her. But could she trust these aliens? What if they had other plans? I need to know everything, Olivia said. The whole truth. What else does the prophecy say? Lyra hesitated. There is one more section. It says the human savior will stand beside the star throne. Together with royal blood, a new empire will rise from the ashes of the old. And what does that mean? Some interpret it to mean, Lyra seemed to struggle for words, that you and I are destined to rule together, that we will rebuild our civilization as equals. Olivia almost laughed, but Lyra's serious expression stopped her. That's crazy. I'm just a scientist from Earth. I don't want to rule an alien empire. Prophecies are often symbolic, not literal, but many of my people believe it means exactly that. Lyra's skin rippled with colors. That is why some fear you. That is why Vex opposes us. and that is why I froze when I saw you. I recognized you from the genetic database match, but seeing you in person, it was like seeing fate itself walk toward me. Before Olivia could respond, an alarm sounded. One of the guards rushed in, speaking rapidly to Lyra. Her expression changed to one of concern. "What's happening?" Olivia asked. "Vex's ships have entered Earth orbit. He has come to stop us." Lyra turned to Olivia. "I must go to the bridge. Please return to your quarters. You will be safe there." "Wait," Olivia called as Lyra hurried away. "I haven't agreed to help you yet." But the princess was gone. Guards escorted Olivia back to her room. Through the small window she could see flashes of light in the distance. The battle had begun. Olivia paced in her room. Outside the small window, lights flashed in the darkness of space. She could see other ships now, moving in strange patterns around Earth. Some fired weapons that looked like streams of colored light. The door slid open. A female guard entered, her skin a pale green color. "The princess requests your presence on the bridge." "What's happening out there?" Olivia asked as they hurried through the corridors. "Vex's forces attack. The battle does not go well for us." The guard's translation device made her voice sound flat, but Olivia could see worry in her large eyes. The bridge was a large round room with screens showing the space around them. Lyra stood in the center giving orders. Her flowing clothes had been replaced by something that looked more like armor, though it still shimmered with color. "Olivia," Lyra said when she saw her, "I apologize for the danger. We did not expect Vex to attack so quickly. What does he want?" "To stop us from using your genetic material, to kill you if possible." Lyra's skin darkened. "He believes the prophecy will destroy our way of life." A loud boom shook the ship. Lyra steadied herself against a control panel. "Direct hit to our lower shield," reported an officer. 30% power loss. "Return fire," ordered Lyra. "Target their weapon systems only." Olivia watched as Lyra's ship fired back at one of the attacking vessels. "You don't want to destroy them? They are my people despite their rebellion." Lyra looked tired. "I will not kill them if I can avoid it." Another hit rocked the ship. Sparks flew from a nearby panel. "Shield power critical," called an officer. "We cannot take another direct hit." Lyra turned to Olivia. "I must show you something. Follow me." They left the bridge and hurried down a corridor Olivia hadn't seen before. They entered a small room filled with scientific equipment. A team of Astrani in white uniforms looked up as they entered. "Have you made progress?" Lyra asked. One of the scientists stepped forward. "Yes, Princess. The human's genetic structure contains exactly what we need. We have synthesized a trial vaccine." "Then proceed with production," Lyra ordered. "Wait," said Olivia. "You already took my DNA?" "When?" "While you slept," admitted Lyra. "I apologize for not asking first, but time was short." Olivia felt angry, but another explosion shook the room before she could speak. An alarm began to sound. "We must return to the bridge," said Lyra. "The situation worsens." When they arrived, chaos greeted them. Officers rushed between stations. The main screen showed 3 enemy ships closing in. "Princess," called the commander. "We have lost engine power. We cannot maneuver." "Prepare for boarding," Lyra ordered. "All guards to defensive positions." She turned to Olivia. "Vex will try to capture us both. We must not let that happen." "What can I do? I'm not a fighter." "No, but you understand tactics." Lyra touched a control, bringing up a display of the ship. "Your Earth military history includes many examples of defenders repelling stronger attackers. Can you see a strategy here?" Olivia studied the ship layout. It was strange to be asked for military advice, but she had studied naval history as a hobby. "You need bottlenecks, places where their numbers don't help them." She pointed to several narrow corridors. "Station your guards here, here, and here. Make them fight in single file." Lyra nodded and gave the orders. Then she handed Olivia a small device. "This will translate any Astrani language for you. Keep it with you." A new alarm sounded. "They have breached the outer hull," reported an officer. "Go with Mara. Lyra told Olivia, indicating the green-skinned guard. She will take you to a safe place. What about you? I must lead our defense. Lyra's eyes changed color, showing her determination. My people look to me. Mara led Olivia through back corridors, avoiding the sounds of fighting. They reached a small chamber with thick walls. Wait here, Mara said. I will return when it is safe. Hours passed. Olivia could hear distant sounds of battle. Eventually, the door opened again. Mara stood there, her uniform torn and a cut on her face. Come quickly, she said. The princess is injured. They ran to the medical bay. Lyra lay on a bed, her skin pale and almost transparent. A wound in her side glowed with strange blue light. What happened? Olivia asked. Energy weapon, said the doctor. The princess shielded one of her guards. Lyra opened her eyes. Olivia, you are safe. Don't talk, Olivia said. Save your strength. No time. Lyra's voice was weak. Vex's forces have withdrawn temporarily. The vaccine production continues, but we need more time. How can I help? Our defenses are damaged. We cannot withstand another attack. Lyra reached for Olivia's hand. You must take command. Me? But I don't know anything about space battles. You know enough. My officers will provide the technical knowledge. You must provide the strategy. Lyra's grip tightened. The prophecy said you would command when royal blood falters. That time is now. Olivia felt overwhelmed, but looking at Lyra's weakened state, she nodded. I'll try. For the next few hours, Olivia worked with the Astrani officers. She learned their weapons capabilities, shield systems, and communication methods. She studied Earth naval tactics that might apply to space. Vex's ships are returning, reported a sensor officer. 3 large vessels and 6 smaller ones. Can we contact Earth? Olivia asked. Ask for help? Communications are damaged, said the officer. We cannot reach Earth forces. Olivia thought quickly. What about the ship's engines? Can we get any power? Minimal thrust only, not enough to escape. We don't need to escape, Olivia said. Just move. Show me the Kuiper belt. The officer brought up a display showing the distant region of space beyond Neptune, filled with small icy objects. Here's what we're going to do, Olivia explained. Use the remaining engine power to move us toward the Kuiper belt. Send a message to Vex that we're retreating. But we cannot reach the Kuiper belt with our current power, protested the officer. He doesn't know that, Olivia said. When his ships follow, use the gravity of these larger objects to slingshot around them. The physics is the same as naval maneuvers in currents. We'll use the environment against them. The Astrani looked confused but followed her orders. Lyra's ship began moving slowly away from Earth. As predicted, Vex's fleet followed. Now for the trap, Olivia said. Do you have any mining explosives aboard? Yes, for resource collection. Deploy them here and here. She pointed to spots along their path. Set them to detonate when Vex's lead ship passes. The plan worked. Better than expected. When the explosives detonated, they created a chain reaction in the icy objects nearby. Vex's lead ship was caught in a hail of debris, damaging its sensors. Now, ordered Olivia. Full power to weapons. Target the damaged section of the lead ship. Lyra's ship fired, hitting the enemy vessel precisely where its shields were weakened. The ship listed to one side, its engines flickering. Broadcast on all frequencies, Olivia commanded. Tell Vex we don't want to destroy his ship, but we will if he continues to attack. After a tense moment, a response came. This is Commander Vex. I request to speak with the human. Vex's face appeared on the screen. He looked similar to Lyra, but his skin was darker with patterns of red and orange. His eyes narrowed when he saw Olivia. So you are the one from the prophecy, he said, the one who will destroy our empire. I'm not trying to destroy anything, Olivia replied. I'm trying to save lives. Astrani lives. Lyra tells me your people are dying from a disease. We have a vaccine synthesized from my DNA. And what will you demand in return? Power, control of our worlds? Nothing, I just want to go home. Vex looked surprised. You do not seek to fulfill the prophecy? I don't believe in prophecies, I believe in science and helping others. Olivia leaned forward. Your cousin is injured because she tried to protect her people. What are you trying to protect? Vex was silent for a moment. Our way of life, our traditions. Will those traditions matter if your people die out? Accept the vaccine. End this fight. Another Astrani appeared beside Vex, whispering in his ear. His expression changed. My scientists inform me that several of our crew show symptoms of the disease. It spreads faster than we thought. Then let us help you, Olivia said. After a long pause, Vex nodded. A temporary truce. We will accept the vaccine for testing. When the communication ended, the bridge crew stared at Olivia with something like awe. You did it, said Mara. You stopped the battle. For now, Olivia replied. Let's hope the vaccine works. She returned to the medical bay to tell Lyra what had happened. The princess looked slightly better, her skin regaining some color. You commanded well, Lyra said, just as the prophecy foretold. About that prophecy, Olivia said. I think there's more you haven't told me. Lyra's skin rippled with colors, showing her discomfort. Yes, there is one part I have not shared. The prophecy says the human savior must eventually choose between worlds. What does that mean? If you choose Earth, my people will be saved from the disease, but we will fade from history. If you choose to embrace your role among us, Earth will survive but remain isolated from the galactic community. Olivia frowned. Why didn't you tell me this before? Because the choice must be your own without influence, Lyra said softly. That is the final test of the prophecy. Outside the ship, Earth hung like a blue jewel against the blackness of space. Olivia stared at her home planet, wondering what choice she would make when the time came. After the battle in space, Lyra's ship returned to Earth orbit. The vaccine production continued, with the first batches sent to Vex's ships for testing. Olivia insisted on returning to Earth to explain what had happened. Your leaders will be angry about your kidnapping, Lyra said as they prepared to descend in a smaller craft. Probably, Olivia agreed. But they need to understand the situation. There's more at stake than just me. They landed near the Alaskan research station where it all began. Military vehicles surrounded them immediately. Soldiers with weapons trained on the alien craft kept their distance. Lyra, now recovered enough to walk, stepped out beside Olivia. Several guns shifted to point at the princess. Don't shoot, Olivia called out, moving in front of Lyra. She's not a threat. A familiar figure pushed through the soldiers. Agent Kim looked both angry and relieved. Olivia Mason, you've been missing for 2 weeks. Where have you been? It's a long story, Olivia said. We need to talk to whoever's in charge. Within hours, they sat in a hastily prepared conference room. Military officials, scientists, and government representatives filled the seats. Dr. Kate Fletcher, a physicist Olivia knew by reputation, led the scientific team. Let me get this straight, said General Harris after Olivia explained everything. These aliens kidnapped you because of some prophecy about your DNA, and now they're in the middle of a civil war that could affect Earth? That's the simple version. Yes, Olivia replied. And we're supposed to trust them? The general looked skeptical. Lyra, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. We do not ask for trust without proof. We offer knowledge and technology in exchange for your help. What kind of technology? Asked Dr. Fletcher, leaning forward with interest. Medical advances, clean energy, faster transportation. Lyra touched. A small device on her wrist and a hologram appeared above the table. These are just a few examples. The room filled with murmurs as the officials examined the holographic displays. Why should we believe this isn't just a trick to get more of our genetic material? Asked Agent Kim. Because the vaccine is already working, Olivia said. Vex's ships report successful trials. The disease is retreating in those who receive treatment. Dr. Fletcher studied the data on her tablet. This genetic mutation you mentioned, can we see it? Lyra nodded and sent the information to Dr. Fletcher's device. The scientist's eyes widened as she reviewed it. "This is unusual," Dr. Fletcher said. "The mutation appears to create a protein structure I've never seen before." She looked up at Olivia. "And you've always had this?" "Apparently," Olivia shrugged. "I've never had any health problems." The meeting continued for hours. Eventually, a tentative agreement was reached. Earth would help produce the vaccine in larger quantities, and the Astrani would share certain technologies in return. As they left the conference room, Dr. Fletcher pulled Olivia aside. "Can I speak with you privately?" They walked to Fletcher's temporary lab. The physicist closed the door behind them. "There's something strange about the Astrani data," Fletcher said, bringing up images on her computer. "Look at these patterns. In their genetic database." Olivia examined the screen. "What am I looking at?" "Manipulation," Fletcher said. "Subtle changes in the data. Not everything they've shared is accurate." "You think they're lying?" "Not exactly lying, more like editing the truth." Fletcher pointed to specific sections. "They've removed or altered certain parts of their records. I can tell because the data patterns don't flow naturally." "Why would they do that?" "I don't know. But I think there's more to this prophecy than Lyra has told you." Olivia thought about the princess's reluctance to share the full prophecy. "What should we do?" "Keep working with them for now. The vaccine is real and people need it." Fletcher lowered her voice. "But be careful. Watch for inconsistencies." Over the next few days, Olivia shuttled between Earth and Lyra's ship, helping coordinate the vaccine production. Earth's pharmaceutical companies worked around the clock to manufacture the medicine according to Astrani specifications. Meanwhile, more Astrani ships arrived in Earth orbit. Most belonged to Lyra's faction, but some were Vex's allies. The temporary truce held as both sides focused on distributing the vaccine. Olivia found herself becoming a bridge between the two species. Humans trusted her more than they trusted the aliens, and the Astrani respected her because of the prophecy. It was a strange position to be in for someone who had spent most of her life studying ocean plants. One evening, as she worked late in Dr. Fletcher's lab, Kate made a breakthrough. "I've decoded more of their language database," she announced, "and I found something interesting about the prophecy." Olivia looked up from her microscope. "What about it?" "The translation we received isn't complete. There's a section about unity through sacrifice that wasn't included." "What does that mean?" Before Kate could answer, an alarm sounded. Outside, the sky lit up with flashes. "Something's happening," Olivia said, running to the window. New ships had appeared in orbit. Ships, unlike any they had seen before. They fired upon both Lyra's and Vex's vessels without discrimination. Olivia's communication device buzzed. Lyra's voice came through, sounding urgent. "Olivia, we are under attack. A third faction has arrived. Extremists who oppose any contact with humans. They seek to destroy all who support the prophecy. Can you hold them off?" "Not for long. Their weapons are stronger than ours." Lyra paused. "They are targeting Earth as well. They believe destroying you will prevent the prophecy from coming true." As if to confirm her words, a bright beam of energy shot down from one of the new ships, striking somewhere in the distance. The ground shook with the impact. "That hit about 50 miles from here," Kate said, checking her tablet. "Some kind of energy weapon." Olivia made a quick decision. "I'm going up there." "What? That's crazy. Lyra needs help. And if these new ships are targeting Earth because of me, I need to do something about it." Despite Kate's protests, Olivia contacted the Astrani shuttle that remained at the research station. Within minutes, she was rising through the atmosphere toward the battle in orbit. The scene in space was chaos. Ships maneuvered and fired at each other against the backdrop of Earth. Debris floated everywhere from damaged vessels. The shuttle docked with Lyra's command ship. Olivia rushed to the bridge where she found the princess directing defensive operations. "Olivia." Lyra looked surprised. "You should not have come. It is too dangerous. I couldn't stay on Earth while you fought." A battle because of me. Olivia looked at the tactical display. What's the situation? Not good. The extremists, led by Admiral Zorn, have 12 ships. We have 7 operational vessels between my forces and Vex's. 2 of our ships are already severely damaged. Another hit rocked the ship. Lights flickered on the bridge. Shield power at 20%, reported an officer. Can we contact Zorn? Olivia asked. Try to negotiate? He refuses all communication, Lyra said. His faction believes the prophecy will destroy our entire civilization. They would rather kill millions than let it come true. Olivia studied the tactical display. What if we split up? Make it harder for them to target us? They would pick us off one by one. Not if we coordinate. Olivia pointed to the display. Look, their formation has a weakness. They're focused on protecting their flagship, this larger vessel here. If we could disable it, the others might stand down. A direct assault would fail, Lyra objected. Not an assault, a surgical strike. Olivia looked around the bridge. Do you have any small craft that could approach undetected? Something with minimal signatures? Maintenance pods, suggested an officer. They have limited shielding but are difficult to detect among debris. Perfect. Olivia turned to Lyra. We load the pod with explosives, pilot it close to their flagship, and target their main power systems. Who would pilot such a mission? Lyra asked. It would be extremely dangerous. I will, Olivia said. No. Lyra's skin darkened with emotion. I cannot allow that. It has to be me. The prophecy says I'm supposed to save your people. This is how I do it. Before they could argue further, a communication came through. To everyone's surprise, it was Vex. Princess Lyra, he said, his image flickering on the screen. Our shields are failing. We cannot hold much longer. We are preparing a counterstrike, Lyra told him. Can your ships provide covering fire? Vex nodded. We will do what we can. As the officers prepared the maintenance pod, Kate Fletcher suddenly called on the emergency channel. Olivia, I've found something critical in the Astrani data. Her voice was urgent. The prophecy doesn't require you to choose between worlds. That's a misinterpretation. The original text speaks of unification, not separation. What does that mean? Olivia asked. I think it means there's a third option beyond the binary choice Lyra described. Kate's voice grew excited. I've been studying the quantum entanglement theories in their scientific database. They have technology that can link consciousnesses across species. Linking consciousnesses? Like mind reading? More like partial merging, creating a bridge between individuals. Kate paused. I think that's what the unity through sacrifice line means. Not choosing one world over another, but creating a connection between them. Olivia looked at Lyra, who had been listening. Is this possible? In that moment of connection, Olivia saw everything. Memories that weren't hers flowed through her mind. Lyra as a child, learning about the stars. Lyra watching her people die from the disease. Lyra discovering the prophecy and hoping against hope that it might save them. And Lyra could see Olivia's memories too, growing up near the ocean, finding joy in studying the smallest forms of life, dreaming of making a difference in the world. The entanglement is working, came Kate's voice over the communication system. Neural patterns are merging, but something was wrong. Olivia could feel Lyra's life force weakening. The princess had been injured worse than she'd admitted during the earlier battle, and the strain of the entanglement was pushing her body beyond its limits. Lyra is failing, reported a medical officer on the ship. Her vital signs are dropping. Through their connection, Olivia felt Lyra's determination. The princess was channeling all her remaining strength into completing the entanglement, even at the cost of her own life. No, Olivia whispered. Don't do this. In her mind, she heard Lyra's voice. It is the only way. The prophecy requires sacrifice. The enemy flagship's weapons were fully charged now, aiming at the small pod. Olivia had seconds to make a decision. In that moment of crisis, the full meaning of the prophecy became clear. To her, it wasn't about choosing between worlds or even sharing power. It was about evolution. Two species finding a new path forward together, represented by a single unified consciousness. Full power to the entanglement, Olivia ordered. The device on her wrist glowed blindingly bright. She felt Lyra's consciousness flowing into her mind more completely, even as the princess's physical body began to shut down. Brain patterns synchronizing, reported the technician. Merger at 85%, 90%. The enemy ship fired. The energy beam struck near Olivia's pod, sending it spinning. Warning lights flashed as systems failed. 95%, came the report. Entanglement nearly complete. Through the shared consciousness, Olivia, Lyra reached out. They could sense the Astrani command systems on all ships in orbit, not just Lyra's vessels, but Vex's ships and even the enemy fleet. The Royal Genetic Code, now merged with Olivia's unique DNA, created a connection to the biologically linked Astrani. Technology. All ships stand down, they commanded, broadcasting on all frequencies. To everyone's surprise, including their own, the enemy vessels powered down their weapons. The Astrani technology recognized the merged consciousness as having absolute authority, a combination of royal command and the prophesied savior. "What is happening?" demanded Admiral Zorn, his confused face appearing on communication screens across all ships. "The prophecy is fulfilled," replied Olivia and Lyra, their voice a strange harmony of both individuals. "But not as any of us interpreted." Using the pod's remaining power, Olivia returned to Lyra's ship. When she arrived on the bridge, the crew stared in shock. Olivia looked mostly the same, but her eyes now shifted colors like Lyra's, and her skin occasionally rippled with subtle patterns of light. The medical team rushed forward with Lyra's unconscious body. The princess was barely alive, her skin almost transparent. "Her consciousness has transferred," explained Olivia. "Lyra, what remains is an empty shell." "Can she be restored?" asked Mara, the loyal guard. "No, but she is not gone." Olivia touched her own temple. "She is here with me. We are together." Over the next few hours, as the battle ended and the fleets regrouped, Olivia Lyra explained what had happened. The entanglement had merged their minds permanently. Olivia remained physically human, but she now carried Lyra's memories, knowledge, and a portion of her consciousness. When Vex arrived on the ship, he approached cautiously. "Is it true? The princess is inside you?" "In a way," Olivia Lyra replied. "We have become something new, neither fully human nor fully Astrani. And the prophecy, it is fulfilled? Yes. The cure for your people comes from my human DNA. The new leadership the prophecy promised is this merged consciousness, a bridge between our worlds." Vex knelt slowly. "Then I recognize your authority, as do all who follow the old ways." Admiral Zorn was more difficult to convince. When brought before Olivia Lyra, he remained defiant. "This abomination is exactly what we feared," he declared. "The dilution of our pure Astrani heritage." "Your pure heritage was leading you to extinction," Olivia Lyra replied calmly. "Evolution requires adaptation. Those who cannot change will not survive." Zorn was placed under guard, but treated with respect. "He will understand in time," Olivia Lyra told the others. "Change is always frightening at first." On Earth, explaining the situation proved challenging. Kate Fletcher helped translate the scientific aspects of the entanglement for government officials. Essentially, Olivia now carries two consciousness patterns in one brain, she explained. Her physical body remains human, but her neural pathways have been permanently altered to accommodate Lyra's consciousness as well. "And you're saying she can control all their ships?" asked General Harris skeptically. "Not exactly control," said Olivia Lyra. "The ships recognize my authority, but more importantly, I understand them now. I can help bridge the gap between our technologies, our cultures." "What does this mean for Earth?" asked Agent Kim. Are we facing colonization? No. The Astrani need time to recover from the disease. They will return to their own worlds to rebuild. Olivia Lyra smiled. But we will not be strangers anymore. There is much we can learn from each other. In the days that followed, Olivia Lyra worked tirelessly. They coordinated the distribution of the vaccine throughout the Astrani fleet. They negotiated agreements between Earth governments and Astrani representatives. They explained the complex prophecy to religious leaders from both species. Kate became their closest human ally. One evening, as they worked late in the lab, she asked the question everyone wondered about. What is it like, having another person in your head? Olivia Lyra considered the question. It's not like having a voice speaking to me, it's more like having memories and knowledge I didn't have before, feelings and perspectives that are familiar and foreign at the same time. They smiled. Lyra was fascinated by Earth's oceans. Now I see them through her eyes as well as my own. Everything looks different. Do you regret it? Kate asked quietly. No. It was necessary. Olivia Lyra looked out the window at the stars. The prophecy spoke of evolution, not just a cure for the disease, but a new way forward. The universe doesn't want us to remain separate forever. Life finds connections. 6 months later, most of the Astrani ships had departed Earth orbit. The vaccine had been successfully distributed, and the disease was in retreat. Earth governments were slowly incorporating some Astrani technology into their own systems, particularly in medicine and clean energy. Olivia Lyra stood on the shore of the Alaskan coast where it had all begun. The last Astrani ship waited in orbit, ready to take them to the Astrani homeworld. Kate stood beside them, bundled against the cold. Are you sure about this? You could stay on Earth. I need to help them rebuild, Olivia Lyra replied. And I need to learn more about this new existence. The Astrani have technology that can help me understand what I've become. Will you come back? Of course. Earth is still my home. Olivia Lyra smiled. And now it's Lyra's home too, in a way. We are the bridge between worlds. That's what the prophecy truly meant. A small shuttle descended from the sky, landing gently on the shore. Mara stepped out and bowed. The fleet is ready, Your Highness. Just Olivia, please, they corrected. Or Olivia Lyra if you must use both names, but no titles. They turned to Kate and hugged her. Take care of things here. I've left all the research data with your team. Use it wisely. How long will you be gone? A year, maybe 2. Time enough for the Astrani to establish a new government. Olivia Lyra looked up at the stars. When I return, we'll begin the real work of bringing our worlds together. As Olivia Lyra boarded the shuttle, she felt a strange sense of rightness. 6 months ago, she had been a simple marine biologist with no greater ambition than studying tide pools. Now she carried the fate of 2 civilizations within her. Through Lyra's memories, she could see the Astrani homeworld waiting, its purple skies and floating cities, its ancient libraries and quantum laboratories. Through Olivia's eyes, Lyra could see the beauty of Earth with new appreciation, the oceans teeming with life, the diverse cultures and resilient spirit of humanity. Together, they were neither fully human nor fully Astrani, but something new. A first step toward a future where the boundaries between species might fade, where different forms of intelligence could share not just knowledge but understanding. As the shuttle rose toward the waiting ship, Olivia Lyra watched Earth grow smaller below. The blue planet that had been humanity's only home for thousands of years would soon be joined by others in their awareness. We'll be back, she whispered, to herself and to the consciousness that shared her mind. This isn't an ending. It's just the beginning. The shuttle docked with the Astrani vessel. Officers and crew members bowed as Olivia Lyra walked the corridors. Many still found the merger strange, a human carrying their princess's consciousness, but they could not deny the truth of the prophecy. In the command center, Vex waited with the ship's captain. All preparations are complete. We can depart for the homeworld whenever you are ready.